Everything is taking a stress on Meghan. She has been arguing for years about this at this point, you guys. And she has had to defend herself over and over and over. Well, the problem now is that she has worked herself into such a tizzy that she's now compromising her own health and that of her unborn child. Meghan, and I don't want to make light of this because it's actually very, very tragic. Meghan has a miscarriage. And I think on the one hand, I want to say I am super, super sad for her that happened. Miscarrying a child is one of the greatest griefs that any family and couple can walk through together. And if that really happened to her, I am saddened for them that they had to deal with that tragedy, especially because they do want kids, and they did want a big family. So that is so sad. On the other hand, there's a part of me that goes, did you though? Because in Harry's book, apparently they had the miscarriage. She went to the hospital. Then they took the body and buried it on their property under a tree. So I'm like, but they wouldn't let you do that if you'd had a miscarriage. So I don't know if the miscarriage actually happened. I got problems believing that. The other thing that makes me question the whole thing is, in this part of the documentary where they're talking about the miscarriage, she has a friend who says Meghan and Harry had just moved into their own home. They'd moved out of Tyler Perry's place and into their own place in Montecito. And the friend had come over the day after they moved in to help unpack. And she said that she met Meghan and that Meghan seemed very distracted by this pain she was having. And that she was holding Archie and she's like, yeah, this is my house. But she was just like, I'm having a lot of pain. And then suddenly she fell to the floor while holding Archie because she was in that much pain. Okay, mamas out there. If you were having a miscarriage, and I have never had one, so I want to be really fair because maybe I really just don't know the pain of having a miscarriage. But if you were miscarrying a child and you were in a lot of pain, would you be walking around holding your child and wait till you got to the point of debilitating pain to where you drop yourself and the child to the ground? It just seems to me like you would be like, I need to sit down well before that, or you would have asked your friend, can you hold Archie? I'm feeling really weak. But to me, that just seems like, why is she always on the ground? Multiple times she's on the ground crying to Harry in various books we've read. At their own admissions, she's on the ground crying. Now she's throwing herself on the ground with the witness of a friend. It's like, how convenient that she wasn't falling to the ground in pain before her friend showed up. Anyway, she's falling to the ground with Archie and she miscarries the child. Again, if that really happened, my heart goes out to them genuinely. I hate that for them. If it didn't happen, then it makes the next thing she did even more horrific. Because then she decides to write an article for the Times about her miscarriage, and she calls it The Losses We Share. And she capitalizes 4 months after the miscarriage. She capitalizes on it to get a little free publicity and little free empathy from the public. So her name's kind of being dragged with this lawsuit, but now she's lost a baby. And she is going to capitalize on the fact that everybody in society right then was having major losses and really difficult, lonely periods because of lockdowns, because of having to be away from loved ones and friends and family. People were falling back into addictions. People were falling back into habitual patterns of abuse. Abusive relationships were on the rise. People were losing loved ones in hospitals, not able to see them. So she, having this miscarriage, and somehow she was able to go to the hospital, somehow she was able to be with Harry, somehow she was able to take that baby and bury it on her property. Somehow she wants to write to you all and gain a bunch of empathy knowing that you're struggling right now too. And you have real struggles because you're locked up in your tiny little studio apartment and she's got this palatial mansion, but she wants to reap the benefits of your pain and stitch them together with the story that she had a miscarriage and gain sympathy and empathy back for herself. We pan over to Doria, who is interviewed by it, and Doria is the least articulate person possibly in this interview, second only to Ashley. And Doria says, well, when she wrote that article, I thought it was strong and courageous, but it didn't surprise me because she is strong and courageous. And yeah, that's the end of what Doria has to say about that. Okay. Once she's written the article, The Losses We All Share, she then wants to capitalize on that bit of do-goodery so that she can now find herself doing lots of other things and taking on many causes, many non-royal causes, so that she can continue to let her light shine. And we get them investing in lots of female entrepreneurship, mental health, the environment, gender equality. I just feel annoyed because it's all buzzwords. There's no actual creativity in any of the causes that they decide to hitch their star to. Wouldn't it be better if you guys decided to champion a cause that no one knew about yet? But of course you're going to run over and be like, women's rights, the environment. Have you heard about the pink tax? Then they decide to jump on this really fun equality cause, and that is vaccine equity. You guys, was there anybody who wasn't able to get that vaccine who wanted it? There was plenty of us who didn't want it, who were having it shoved at us right, left, and center. And it was an arduous task to stand up for your right to not have one. But they're over there getting up on stages, and Harry's coming out with lines like, me and my wife believe that the way you're born should not dictate your ability to survive. And the crowd roars like he's really said something. That is a non-statement, you guys. Me and my wife believe that the way you were born should not dictate your ability to survive. Take that. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. Sorry, Harry, that didn't make any sense because it doesn't mean anything. Sometimes the way people are born does dictate the way they survive, like whether they have a vicious heart condition or are born with one lung. Sometimes they don't have a brain and they are going to die. That does dictate the way that they live. But I think what you meant, Harry, was that people should treat each other equally, and that if somebody has a physical difference, like their skin is darker than somebody else, they should be allowed to get that vaccine. Okay, now here we come to some more do-goodery. They team up with the NAACP to give out a Digital Civil Rights Award. I don't know what that means or what that's supposed to entail or what you had to do in order to win one. Then she is invited to speak for the Immaculate Heart High School graduation, and she gives their commencement address. Remember, that was her high school. So she takes this opportunity to say George Floyd's name over and over again and invoke the sainthood of George Floyd. They definitely sound off on police shootings. Then she wants to let us know that if you're tired of hearing about the police violence and the police shootings, well, she has a solution she'd like to offer. People say, how many times do we have to say that we need to rebuild? But we have to rebuild and rebuild and rebuild until it's rebuilt. What the hell are you talking about? You have to rebuild and rebuild and rebuild until it's rebuilt? Yeah. Okay. Like, what emotion was supposed to be conveyed by that statement? Just because you said it with emotion doesn't mean you said anything. You have to eat that cheese and eat that cracker until you've swallowed it all. And then you eat another cracker and you eat some more cheese until you've swallowed it all. And then you're full. So full. I didn't say anything, but I said it with emotion. Okay, so somebody needs to help them with less emotion and more worth to their words. Let's work on that. Okay, because Harry's coming over here telling you that, you know, your birth shouldn't equal your ability to live. And she's over here talking about building and rebuilding, but it's like, why don't you guys say something? Say something. You have a platform. Say something that's worth saying. Like, truly, you should feel compelled to work harder on your speeches because people are listening, so give them something to actually latch onto. But at the end of this episode, when Meghan decides to read to us the speech that she gave at her wedding, which apparently no British brides give speeches at their weddings, it is so stupid and so unbelievably paltry and lame that it makes sense why she'd say something like, we have to build and build and build until it's rebuilt, and act like that was a statement. Because she's so proud of anything she wrote, even if it's stupid. If her hand touched the page and she wrote something down, especially if it's in her fancy writing, it's worth saying, you guys. Again, we get lots of phone videos all set to Motown music, so much wasted time. They decide to announce that they're pregnant with their second baby, We get lots and lots of footage of them going out into the mountains and walking their dogs or going down to the ocean and seeing, making a turn and seeing the Pacific Ocean for the first time. And they're just lots of gasps, lots of, oh my goodness, my love. My love. Look at it, my love. Who calls each other my love? British people. Dear friends. Tell me, do you guys refer to each other in your relationships as my love? You walk home, you open the door, you've been at work all day, your spouse is there before you. Do you open up the door and go like, oh, my love, I had such a hard day? Do you guys talk to each other like that? I just think my love is weird. Love, yeah, like you hear people say that all the time, like call each other love. Okay, that's fine. My love? That's a hard one for me, you guys. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, well, again, like I said, they're pregnant now. They're hiring a new photographer who is gonna do their announcement. Seems like for people who want to be private and don't want anybody to know about their kids and who were really stodgy and difficult when it came to the birth of Archie. Now that they're on their own, they can't wait to let everybody see the pictures of her pregnancy and announce it to the world. The hypocrisy knows no bounds. Interestingly, they decide to put out their announcement about the baby who will be Lilibet on Valentine's Day. And Harry wants you to know that his mother also put out her announcement on Valentine's Day when she was pregnant with him. Coincidence? I don't think so. Sounds like his mom orchestrated that one from above. I'm like, or your witch from below. Meanwhile, Lilibet is born. No mention of the scandal regarding her name. Not surprisingly, because they can't answer any of our real questions. Meghan's over there, cooing in the background. The way she talks is annoying to me. Are you getting ready to eat? Do you want some milk? Yeah, not from you, Meghan. They show Harry doing normal dad things. They literally show him with a push mower mowing 7 acres of grass. It's just so funny to me because it's like, you're not mowing your own lawn, man. And if you have 7 acres of grass, get a rider at least, right? I mean, what is this business of him trying to pretend like he's normal? He's so abnormal that he doesn't even realize you wouldn't be mowing your lawn with a push mower if you had 7 acres to mow. Okay, but Lilibet is born, and amidst all the breastfeeding and the lawn mowing, they call Tyler Perry and see if he wants to be the godfather of Lilibet. He seems underwhelmed by it, although he tries to put on a big show like he was super into it. He's like, I was like, wow, okay, big honor. Okay, all right, sounds good. Of course, then I hung up with them and I realized, wait a second. Does that mean I've got to go over there and be with them and do the whole church thing? And if that's the case, if that's what you guys have to do, that's good, but I'm out. Annoyingly, when he's telling this whole story, he kind of switches his accent when he starts talking about having to go over to England. Oh, we're going to have to go over there and do the church thing because I don't know about that.